Good morning, good afternoon. I hope everyone is having a day that they deserve. Welcome to the Dads We Are YouTube channel. And before we jump into this topic today, I want to say this one thing. If you're looking for the perfect parent, I am not him. Look in the mirror. Today's topic I want to talk about in this video is patience. Patience, fathers. Do you consider yourself a man of a lot of patience? Does it take a lot to tick you off, right? We've all had experiences growing up from our mother, our father, our grandmother, whoever it is that you were raised with, when they lost their patience and they responded in a way that made you like, look at them funny, like, oh, why you cursing? Why'd you hit me? Why'd you take away my Nintendo or whatever it is? What's going on? And that perception of them changes, right? You now view them different, right? Sometimes when someone loses their patience, and they come from a figure of, that you hold on a pedestal, a figure of authority. Sometimes what happens is we buy into this fear, right? We're now afraid to say or do certain things around that parent or whoever it is, right? So we react different, we respond different. We may not say certain things to them. We may not share information with them. We may lie to them, right? We go in defensive mode because we know now that you respond in a way that makes us a little afraid, for lack of better words, right? So a couple of things that I ask myself, right, and when it comes to patience, and I lose my patience, and depending on how I respond, is what is the goal, right? What is the goal? As a father, right, were you given instructions, right? Did you give a curfew? Did you tell them to clean their room or do their homework, right? Those are the goals, right? And if for whatever reason they're not doing it, or they're talking back, or they're lying, right? That caused you to lose your patience, and you may respond in a manner that, again, later on you may regret, whether you punish them, whether I hope you don't, but whether you put your hands on them. So the question is, what is the goal, right? You have to keep that in mind. Secondly, when we lose our patience, right, that's a blessing, right? Now, how we respond, that's different. That can or cannot be the blessing. But when we lose our patience, that's a blessing, because what it does is it's a mirror. It's a universal mirror. It reflects. It lets us know, hey, listen, you need to work on this area in your life. Talking about the individual who lost their patience, right? Because most times when we lose our patience and we fly off the hinge, or we respond in a way, and losing patience can, you can respond in different manners. Some people shut down, right? Some people are aggressive. Some people yell and curse. So when you lose those patience, right, it's usually an indicator of something that's deeper rooted, right? Now, that situation that you just encountered may trigger an emotion, right? And it caused you to lose your patience. But it's usually something deeper. So the question that I challenge you to ask yourself, right, is what is it about this situation, or what is it about my son or daughter or wife that is causing me to feel this type of way? Right? Because it's very easy to rationalize and to point the finger when we lose our patience. Right? It's because I told you to do, or they didn't, do what you said to do, or they're not respecting, whatever it is, right? Those are, you're rationalizing. That's not usually the issue. What happens is they're striking a chord. They're hitting something that's a lot deeper. So I encourage you, I challenge you to go deeper, right? To think about what is it, and continue to ask yourself that. What is it about that situation that caused me to respond the way that I did? Because I do not like responding this way, right? In addition to that, you want to accomplish these goals. You want to hit these marks, right? So if you want long-lasting impacts or long-lasting effects on your child's life, it is important. It is important to not respond in that manner, right? To not lose your patience. Because what happens is, when the cat's away, the mice will play, right? So the minute that you're gone, for whatever reason, whether you die, whether you go to prison, whether you get a promotion and you have to travel, whatever it is, your child or your home is going to recant and go back to their old ways, right? Because the impact that you had was only led by fear, right? And once fear is gone, or once it's removed from the atmosphere, right, you go back to your natural way of being, right? So remember, you want a long-lasting impact. So that's important. So what is it about whatever it is that I'm encountering that's causing me to feel, or that's triggering this emotion? And what are my goals, right? Something else that's important is, how am I being perceived when I fly off the hinges, right? How am I being perceived when I yell, right? Because that's an indicator of a weak characteristic trait, right? And there's nothing wrong with being weak, right? That gives us an opportunity to gain strength, right? But if you live out of that or you operate out of that weak place, all you're going to do is create fear, and you're not going to be respected, right? You're not going to have that long lasting impact. So I encourage and I challenge you to keep those questions in mind, or keep that idea in mind. What is my goal here? What am I trying to accomplish? Number one, right? Number two, what is it about this situation that I'm encountering that's causing me to feel the way that I'm feeling? As a result, I'm responding the way that I'm responding. What is it? And ask yourself over and over again, right? Think about your past relationships. Think about your childhood, right? Think about some of the dreams you may have had. These are all indicators that can help you get through this, right? Because again, one of the goals is to be effective, to have long lasting impact. You want to operate from a place of love and compassion. You want to be respected, right? You want to be, put in a place where, people are going to listen to you. They're going to say, you know what, his words are golden. His words carry value. He's a man of his word. I respect him. I love him. So those are some of the things that I encourage you to think about. I want to hear what you think, right? How do you rate yourself when it comes to patience? How do you respond? What was the last situation that you had that caused you to respond in a way that you regretted later? Comment, subscribe.